What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Neighborhood Podcast. One of the hosts of the podcast. My name is Kyle Dabro. So, in this video, we're going to go over a story that's been causing some internal tension within ESPN for the last year or so. But this story didn't come to the surface until the 4th of July weekend, and it involves some of ESPN personalities, specifically regarding Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. So, I'll pull up the article for you guys so you guys can read along with it with me. So we'll talk about the report. The report is from the New York Times, but I have it pulled up on Yahoo here. So, a bombshell report from the New York Times on Sunday revealed that there is allegedly heavy internal strife at ESPN, stemming comments about diversity that NBA sideline reporter and the Jump host Rachel Nichols made about her colleague Maria Taylor. And Taylor is an NBA and NFL reporter and the host of NBA Countdown. So, according to the New York Times, Nichols made these comments in July 2020 after ESPN told her that Taylor, who is black, would be hosting coverage of the NBA Finals instead of her. Nichols sought advice from LeBron James's longtime advisor Adam Mendelson and James's agent Rich Paul on a call that was reportedly accidentally recorded because Nichols hadn't turned her video camera off. During the call, Nichols can be heard saying that she feels like Taylor is only being promoted over her due to ESPN's long and terrible record on diversity. Now, I won't go into the actual audio quote, but they have the quote listed right here in the text. So this is essentially the crux or the main focal point of the issue that's going on within ESPN internally. So Nichols had stated, "I wish Maria all the success in the world. She covers football, she covers basketball, and if you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long time record on diversity, which by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You are not going to find it from me or taking my thing away." Now, this is where everything bubbles up, and this is where a lot of the tension is coming from. Because essentially what she is saying is that she does not want to see a reduction in her roles due to the fact that Maria Taylor is getting an expansion in her roles because ESPN sees a pretty solid future within Taylor. Now, to kind of go into the Maria Taylor side of things here, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually like Maria Taylor as a sideline reporter. I think she does a phenomenal job no matter what sport she's covering from the sidelines. I've mostly seen her providing coverage on the sideline in college football games and in the NFL, and she's definitely seen quite a rise in her role in NBA commentary within ESPN. But I like her style that she provides from the sideline. She has very good questions. They're short and concise, and they get to the point, and they provide information that everybody else is looking for in that moment of time. She does great analysis throughout the game, whether it's during a break in the action or she's providing injury updates from the sideline. She does a phenomenal job. And it's no surprise to me that ESPN was looking at Maria Taylor as somebody who's a rising star within the company. Because previously last year, ESPN and Maria Taylor had been working on a contract negotiation for an extension for her to keep her at ESPN. However, those contract negotiations didn't lead to a signed deal from Taylor. She turned down that deal, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But essentially, this is where we're coming at a crossroads, so to speak, because now you're seeing Maria Taylor's rise in the company, and now Rachel Nichols is in the crossroads of that. And look, I think Rachel Nichols is solid for ESPN. She does a very good job hosting The Jump, and I think she does a great job with interviewing players in the NBA. So it's not like Rachel Nichols hasn't earned her spot in ESPN. She's done a phenomenal job. It's just coming to a point where ESPN thinks that they see a better short-term future with Maria Taylor than they do with Rachel Nichols in hosting NBA commentary and in hosting primetime slots. And it's going to possibly come at the expense of Rachel Nichols. And that's where a lot of the anger and the frustration is coming from Rachel Nichols. Now, out of all of the people here, and I know I mentioned LeBron James's business partners, I've mentioned Maria Taylor and Rachel here. But Rachel looks the worst out of this because it looks like to me that her ego is really driving this home. And this is the thing that comes along with being in that industry. You are expendable. And the information that everybody is watching from the shows that we watch on ESPN or the interviews that they conduct with certain players, we're not focused about the people that are hosting the questions or are hosting the shows. We're more focused on the analysis of the players that we watch. That's what we're mostly focused about. And it comes to a point where, look, if you provide what ESPN needs to do, but there's somebody else that can fill in that role that is going to look better for them in the short term, then the person that was there previously is going to probably either be shelved or they're going to see a role reduction at that company. It is what it is. And ESPN has probably made it a focal point to make sure that Maria Taylor gets some shine here because she's earned it. The problem is that Rachel thinks that race is a factor here. Now, this is the part where I get uncomfortable because I hate going down this road. This is not something that I typically do. But here's what I'll say about what Rachel said. I think Rachel is somewhat right, but the way that she's talking about this is wrong. I wouldn't put it past ESPN to give Maria Taylor a role, so then that way they look like they are a diverse company, that they're giving opportunities to people who are minorities. And I can understand that from Rachel's side of things. However, I disagree with how she went about it because it's coming at the expense of her and she doesn't like that. It is what it is. You just have to get comfortable with the fact that you are expendable. You are replaceable. And look, for me personally, I think Maria Taylor has earned the spot on ESPN, not because of her race, because of her skill. She's an amazing professional for ESPN, and she's been nothing but that from what I've seen throughout the entirety of her tenure at ESPN. And that is something that, for me personally, that's what it's all about. It's about being able to do the job and do the job right, and Maria Taylor lives up to that expectation. And if ESPN is essentially giving Maria Taylor the role because of her race, that is extremely disparaging to me, because you're conducting business based on somebody's race, not somebody's performance at their job. And if Rachel is right about that in that aspect, ESPN should be ashamed of themselves. Now, hopefully that's not the case here, but I wouldn't put it past ESPN to do that. I think Maria Taylor has earned her roles within ESPN, and if it comes at the expense of Rachel Nichols, so be it. Rachel could be upset and butthurt about that all she wants. But as far as I'm concerned, it is what it is. Maria's getting a rise. She's getting her shine. And if it comes at the expense of Rachel, then that's a decision that they're going to have to make. The problem is that with all of this being aired out publicly, I think it's within Maria's best interest to stay away from ESPN at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Maria start getting looks from different outlets in sports media that can pay her what she was kind of looking for in the contract negotiations that she was getting a year ago. Now, last year, Maria Taylor was looking to make somewhere in the range of what Stephen A. Smith makes at ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is one of the top personalities at ESPN, arguably the top personality at ESPN, and is making somewhere close to about $10 million a year annually. And while I think Maria Taylor is excellent at her job, I don't think she's worth that yet. Stephen A. Smith has been at that job and at ESPN for over a decade. And he played multiple roles before he made the money that he's making currently. He hosted a radio show. He was one of the hosts of First Take and is still currently the host of First Take. And he was doing reporting for ESPN before he was even on TV. So I don't know if Maria Taylor is worth that type of money yet. I don't personally think so. But in my eyes, she's definitely deserving of getting a solid or a substantial raise in her annual salary. That goes without saying. But Stephen A. Smith money? Nah, I don't think so. Not yet. If she keeps at it for a couple more years, yeah, she could be worth that eventually. Just as it currently stands right now, I don't believe that to be the case. Now, with Rachel's in a really bad spot here because you've had your own employees or your own coworkers basically come out against you saying that you're not really playing team ball here. That you're not necessarily the best coworker. And I understand this industry is very cutthroat, but even so, it's a bad look on Rachel when you're basically saying that I want my role to stay the same and to not be changed. And I don't really care, if it's Maria Taylor or not. If Maria Taylor is going to get this, I hope it doesn't affect me, but it is what it is. And I think Rachel is a little butthurt here. Now, I think that she's definitely been a very good person at the job within ESPN for what she's done. But I think with the way that I see it, she's probably on the way out. Because the way that I see it, I don't think Maria's staying. And with the way things are going for Rachel Nichols at this current moment in time, I think she's going to be on the way out too. I think this is a scenario where you're going to see both of them gone within probably the next couple of weeks or within the next year or so. Because I think Maria Taylor, her contract ends within the next couple of weeks at ESPN. It essentially ends when the NBA season comes to an end. So, and I don't expect Maria Taylor to go back to ESPN. I think it's within her best interest to stay away from ESPN at this point. Just because it's not worth going back to all that drama. It's not worth it. The only way that I would see her going back to ESPN is if they let go of Rachel Nichols. Which, I mean, they could. I just don't know if they're going to at this current moment in time. That kind of remains to be seen, but I guess we'll kind of see how that goes over the next couple of months or so. But all in all, this is a mess for ESPN. I mean, ESPN is hosting the NBA Finals this week. The NBA Finals between the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks starts in the middle of the week. And yet the biggest story going into this work week is an internal conflict with two of their personalities in Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. That's just not a good look. And ESPN is going to have to be doing a lot of work to try to settle this conflict sooner rather than later because this cannot continue. And I know there's probably a good chance that ESPN's personalities on Monday's shows are not going to really mention this. If they do, good on them. But I think everybody within ESPN is going to keep this hush-hush because I highly doubt we're going to see really any sort of content or commentary about this issue between Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. I just don't see it as far as like ESPN's side of things. But it's dirty. It's dirty. That's just kind of how I see it. I know that business is very cutthroat, and being in the industry, you're expendable. And I think Rachel, she can be mad about it all she wants, but that just kind of seems to me where the tide was going, and now it's gotten to a point where she's muddied the waters and she's made things ugly. And that's not a good look on her, and that's not a good look on ESPN. But with that said, you guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up from here. I just wanted to give my thoughts, give my analysis on really this drama that's going on at ESPN. I hate talking about this stuff because it's just drama. These are grown adults, for God's sakes. And they're acting like children. It's just, it just drives me up a wall. But, if you guys like the video below. If you guys want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button below. Any sort of support that we can get for the channel, Kevin and I definitely appreciate it. And with that said, you guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up from here. Like I said, I appreciate you guys tuning in to see the video, and we'll see you guys later.